He supported Ethan when the boy had nothing, teaching him how to navigate a negotiation, how to dominate in the cutthroat world of corporate finance. And when Ethan's star finally ascended, the first thing he did was discard the one who guided him there. So it was no surprise to hear Ethan telling a friend that Liam was staid, uninteresting, and most damningly, no longer young. Standing outside the private lounge, Liam felt a familiar itch rise in his throat. He could perfectly picture the scene inside. Ethan, impossibly handsome, leaning back with a lazy confidence, dismissing him with a careless wave of his hand. It had always been Liam's foolish hope that held the vibrant young soul by his side for so long. Perhaps because he had anticipated this ending, the ache in his chest was a dull throb, quickly replaced by the heavy certainty of a stone finally settling. The only question left was how to extricate himself from this tarnished arrangement with some semblance of dignity. Unable to formulate a plan, he retreated to the men's room. He lit a cigarette, the flare of the match illuminating his reflection. A well-tailored overcoat, hair meticulously styled with pomade now slightly askew from his hurried walk. The fine lines at the corners of his eyes were undeniable, a stark testament to the 7 years that separated him from Ethan. Ethan burned with a fierce, incandescent energy, a beacon of youth. Liam, on the other hand, had crossed the threshold into his mid-30s. His own light now a steady, measured flame, his energy and stamina beginning to wane. A bitter, self-deprecating smile twisted his lips. He extinguished the cigarette, fanning the smoke away before pushing the door to the lounge open. The cacophony of chatter and music ceased for a beat, a sudden, sharp intake of breath from the room. His eyes found Ethan instantly. He was sprawled languidly on a low-slung leather sofa, one arm draped possessively around a beautiful young man seated beside him. The boy was a predator marking his territory. Liam recognized him from a background check, Skylar. In person, his face was even more delicate, almost cherubic. It was easy to see how he had made a career of being kept. Skylar blinked, his expression a mask of confusion at the sudden, awkward silence. A friend of Liam's, seeing him, stammered a greeting. Someone fumbled with the sound system, trying to lower the music, but only succeeded in cranking up a pulsating, melancholic dance track that made the tableau even more ludicrous. Finally, a guest, dizzy with alcohol, simply yanked the power cord from the wall. The ensuing quiet was thick and suffocating. Liam's presence always seemed to have this effect, an unwelcome intrusion into the world of the young. He manufactured a polite smile, glancing at his watch. He explained that work had finished early, so he had come to take Ethan home. His gaze flickered to Ethan, who seemed momentarily lost, a frown creasing his brow. The hand on Skylar's shoulder tightened, then moved to cover the boy's curious eyes. Skylar pouted, leaning against Ethan's shoulder with an unthinking, public intimacy. Ethan's silence was a clear and devastating answer. He was young, thoughtless. Liam would be 35 in a few days. The decorum expected of an adult kept the smile fixed on his face. He added that an urgent matter had come up at the office and he had to return. He informed them he had ordered some food, a thoughtful gesture for stomachs soured by too much alcohol. Skylar, hearing the others murmur their thanks, chirped one of his own. He then tilted his head, feigning innocence. He commented on how familiar Liam's name sounded, wondering aloud if he was the older man Ethan had mentioned. He then covered his mouth with theatrical shock, eyes crinkling with mischief. He told Liam he didn't seem quite as old as Ethan had described, more distinguished, like a cool uncle. The boy's malice was so transparent it was almost charming. Yet the careless words, meant to be playful barbs, pricked at him with surprising sharpness. Still, it was a manageable pain. He felt a deep weariness settle in his bones. He lit another cigarette, the smoke a welcome veil. He told Ethan to clear the room, his voice low but firm, stating they needed to talk. The younger man knew this was an ultimatum. The casual slouch disappeared from Ethan's posture. He scanned Liam's face, his own expression unreadable. After a moment's hesitation, perhaps fearing for the safety of his new companion, he stood. He ordered everyone to leave. Skylar protested, but a cold glance from Ethan silenced him. The boy shot Liam a venomous look before trailing out with the others. When the door clicked shut, Liam let out a long, slow breath. Through the haze of smoke, Ethan's silhouette was indistinct. He stood 3 paces away, a distance that felt both intimate and unbridgeable, just as it had been when they first met. He had walked so far to reach him back then. Ethan had been wearing threadbare clothes, his head bowed over a sink as he washed dishes, hands raw and swollen. In the winter, the skin would crack and bleed. Liam had approached him, and the boy had looked up, his eyes wary, like a cornered animal. Liam had asked if he wanted to come with him. At the time, Liam was just starting out, his own finances precarious, but he had put on an air of wealth, terrified that Ethan would see the desperation beneath his ill-fitting suit. Ethan's chapped lips had pressed into a thin line. Liam had promised to pay his tuition, to give him the freedom to study without worry. Young and arrogant, he had equated money with affection, a lesson learned from his own father. He had laid love on the scales of commerce, only realizing later that he had turned it into a sordid transaction. His inexperience had blinded him to the boy's silent struggle. When Ethan had finally smiled at him, Liam had only felt a smug satisfaction at being able to help someone he desired. The contract they signed was for financial support, but it had always been a gilded cage. Only as the years passed, as Liam navigated the brutal realities of the world, did he begin to understand the bitterness and humiliation coiled within that first smile. The pain had a delayed fuse. The chasm between them grew. He would instinctively transfer half of his earnings to Ethan's account, but he knew the money was never touched. Ethan was now a titan in his own right, a wunderkind of the industry whose face graced magazine covers. Liam heard himself say his name. Ethan didn't react, his dark eyes just watching. Liam's voice was steady when he stated that their contract would end this Saturday. He made it clear he didn't want a repeat of this evening before then. The young man remained silent. As time went on, their conversations had dwindled into a polite, hollow exchange of pleasantries. Ethan finally spoke, reminding Liam that smoking was bad for his health, that he had promised to quit. Liam nodded, crushing the cigarette. Ethan stepped forward, took a napkin, dampened it with water from a glass, and gently took Liam's wrist. He meticulously wiped the ash from his fingers. Ethan murmured that the contract was ending, and asked if Liam intended to renew it this time. Liam pulled his hand away. He said no. He told Ethan he should be free. He mentioned Ethan's upcoming birthday on Saturday. Ethan shook his head, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips, saying he was too old to celebrate birthdays anymore. The younger man's gaze was intense, impenetrable. After a silence that stretched to the breaking point, Ethan asked if Liam had been counting down the days. His tone was flat, not an accusation but a statement of fact. Liam acknowledged that he had. With the contract's end, they could finally escape this twisted, unnatural bond and go their separate ways. Ethan agreed, as expected, with a clean, simple word. The truth was, when Liam had first started counting, it was with the intention of proposing when the contract ended, of finally bearing his flawed, sincere heart. But now, Ethan's happiness seemed more important. As he himself had said, Liam was no longer young. He shouldn't chain a free spirit to his own selfish desires. Ethan adjusted the collar of Liam's overcoat, asking if he was going home now. Liam gestured with his phone, explaining that something had come up at the office. Ethan gave a non-committal hum and offered to drive him. Liam declined, reminding him he had been drinking and that he had his own car. Ethan said, "All right." His eyes lowered as he added that he thought Liam had come to pick him up. Liam turned, not understanding. Ethan repeated himself, his voice just as placid as before. He had thought Liam was coming to take him home. Back at the deserted office, Liam ran into his boss, who was packing up for the night. The older man expressed surprise at seeing him back so late. Liam mumbled something about sleeping in the on-site dorm. His boss raised an eyebrow, then remembered something, slapping his forehead. He pulled a folder from his briefcase and handed Liam a notice. The company was launching a project in Africa, and the engineering department needed to send someone for a 3-year term. He asked Liam to see if there were any volunteers in his division. Liam scanned the document. Rwanda. The location was remote, the conditions harsh. His team was full of kids just starting their lives. He thought for a moment, then asked if there were leopards in Rwanda. His boss stared at him, bewildered. Liam chuckled softly and said he would go. His boss was shocked, asking if he was suffering from a broken heart and seeking exile. Liam admitted it was something like that. The boss warned him that once the name was submitted, it couldn't be withdrawn. He advised Liam to talk things through with his partner, that maybe the conflict wasn't as big as it seemed. He gave him until Friday to decide, as the flight was on Sunday. Before he could say more, his phone rang. With an apologetic look, he explained his wife was calling and hurried off, leaving Liam with a sympathetic nod. Liam watched him go, a pang of envy in his chest. He and Ethan were past the point of talking. He lay on the cot in the dorm, closing his eyes. A text message arrived. An unknown number. It was a photo of Skylar and Ethan. Ethan wore a hoodie, a rare casual look, his expression unreadable. Skylar was leaning on his shoulder, grinning brightly, the very picture of youth. Liam saved the photo, cropped it to show only Ethan, and then blocked the number before turning off his phone. He dreamed he was 25 again, watching an 18-year-old Ethan scrubbing dishes. 25-year-old Liam, fresh from his master's program, flush with the success of his first major project, was arrogant and full of a young man's reckless confidence. He had stormed into the grimy kitchen, reeking of celebratory booze, and called out Ethan's name. The boy, who didn't recognize him, had looked up in confusion. Liam had introduced himself, blurting out his academic credentials and making a clumsy, condescending offer of help. Watching the scene unfold, his older self leaned against the wall, cringing. He should have just helped him anonymously. Then, at least, he wouldn't have wasted a decade of the boy's life. A life already burdened by a gambling father, a missing mother, and a sick grandmother. Instead, he had forced Ethan into a humiliating decade-long association with a man he didn't love. He watched the boy's cold, dark eyes, saw him press his lips together, and heard him say yes, his voice trembling. 10 years later, that brash young man was gone, replaced by someone who understood, too late, that Ethan deserved his freedom. Ethan didn't message him again. Liam was both relieved and disappointed. He submitted his application for the Rwanda post. His boss tried to dissuade him, but seeing his resolve, reluctantly agreed. Liam transferred 2/3 of his assets to Ethan, along with the deed to the apartment they shared and a letter of apology, all sealed in an envelope to be delivered after his departure. He kept only the cropped photo of Ethan in the hoodie. At work the next day, his younger colleagues greeted him with their usual cheerfulness. 2 of the junior engineers were whispering and kept glancing his way. Finally, he took off his glasses and asked what was going on. One of them asked if he was really turning 35, saying he didn't look it at all. They had seen his birth date on the company's birthday wall. Before he could respond, they were asking if he was single, if he liked men or women, their youthful enthusiasm overwhelming. His boss rescued him, chiding them for slacking off and teasing Liam for being shy. In his office, his boss asked if he was ready. Liam confirmed his plan. One last birthday in the States, then a day to rest before flying out. But the timeline had changed. A situation had developed in Rwanda. He needed to leave that night. The suddenness was a strange relief. His colleague for the trip, Cole, was waiting for him. A young man, tall and imposing, with sharp features and a posture that screamed military. He was stoic and introduced himself with a firm handshake. On the plane, Liam learned he was active-duty military, assigned to the project due to its sensitive nature. Cole noted that Liam had a face that would be popular in certain foreign circles, and advised him to stick close and not wander off. Liam, 35, was being called a pretty boy. He must have dozed off because the next thing he knew, Cole was waking him. They had arrived. He finally turned his phone on. A string of messages from Ethan. "It's your birthday. I'm waiting at home. Consider the contract renewal my birthday gift. Where are you? I called but you didn't answer. They said you left on business. Where did you go? Couldn't it wait one day? I saw the security footage. Is he younger than me? The last one was sent at midnight. Liam, happy birthday. You're free. We have no relationship anymore." Cole's voice cut through his thoughts, asking who Ethan was. Liam looked up, startled. Cole, hoisting Liam's bag onto his own shoulder, explained that Liam had been muttering the name in his sleep. It was noisy. Liam took a breath, the dry, sandy wind whipping around them. He found himself being honest in a way he never could be with anyone else. He told the stranger that Ethan was someone he used to love. The words felt liberating. He had always been too afraid to ask Ethan for the truth, too afraid of the answer. He needed his pride and Ethan's love to remain in a state of suspended possibility. The work was grueling and secretive. Days blurred into a cycle of sweat, schematics, and briefings. When he finally emerged from the facility, it was dusk. His phone, which had been locked away for security, was dead. He just wanted to sleep. A blonde, blue-eyed man blocked his path, speaking rapidly in English, his face uncomfortably close. Liam caught keywords: sweetheart, gorgeous, free tonight. He wearily asked the man his age. 19. Liam replied that in 4 years, he'd be old enough to be his father. He was 35. This only seemed to excite the man more. A low voice cut in, stating that he already had company. A heavy hand landed on Liam's shoulder. It was Cole. The young suitor, intimidated by Cole's size and severe expression, stammered a few more words and left, but not before pressing a business card into Liam's hand. Cole glanced at the card and snorted. He led Liam to a powerful motorcycle. Resigned, Liam climbed on behind him, wrapping his arms tightly around the man's waist as they sped through the unlit roads. Back at their quarters, Liam's first act was to plug in his phone. Cole watched him, arms crossed. He asked if Liam's family had approved of him coming here alone. Liam, after a moment, explained his parents were estranged and he had no partner. Cole called him a bleeding heart. His eyes lit up when Liam offered to cook. But the fridge was bare. Cole insisted Liam rest, offering to go buy whatever was needed. A cold draft filled the apartment. Ethan knew the window was open but couldn't bring himself to close it. He sat in a thin shirt, staring at the birthday cake he'd bought. It was 8 o'clock. Liam wasn't back. His messages remained unanswered. The feeling of helplessness was a chilling echo of his youth. He was no longer that powerless boy, but under Liam's gentle, steady gaze, he always felt like he was. He had convinced himself Liam's kindness was a form of charity, a temporary reprieve offered to a stray. He had warned his own heart not to fall, not to become a pathetic beggar pleading for scraps of affection when Liam inevitably decided to walk away. He had never spent Liam's money, instead working tirelessly to repay the tuition, though never daring to pay it all back. He feared that if the debt was settled, Liam would lose interest and find another soul to save. This twisted logic had carried them through a decade. He knew men like Liam, mature and kind, were magnets for the young and eager. His insecurity had festered, especially when he saw Liam being friendly with a new intern. That's when he had sought out Skylar, hoping to learn the art of being a perfect-kept man, to learn how to hold his benefactor's attention. It had backfired spectacularly. He had drafted a new contract, one where he would give Liam all his money, if only he would agree to keep him. But Liam never replied. He awoke with a start. Cole was asleep in the room with him. The kitchen incident from the night before, a minor explosion, had left them both exhausted, and Cole's bed had been destroyed by termites. Liam studied the sleeping man's disciplined posture before turning to his phone. It was flooded with missed calls and voicemails from Ethan. The messages were frantic, pleading. "Where did you go? Are you abandoning me like my parents did? Liam, please, let's just talk. I'm waiting for you." He sighed. He couldn't refuse Ethan's pleas. Slipping on a jacket, he went to the balcony and dialed. Ethan answered instantly, as if he'd been holding his breath. Liam heard only quiet breathing on the other end. He spoke first, asking what was wrong. Ethan's voice was thick with unshed tears. Liam found himself explaining that he had just finished work and had only now woken up. Ethan's voice was a raw whisper when he said he thought Liam would never speak to him again. Liam was taken aback. He asked why he would think that. Their story wasn't meant to end in bitter silence. Ethan knew he was out of the country. With his resources, it wasn't surprising. He asked if he could wait for Liam to come back, or if he could come find him. Liam was silent. The words were so at odds with the dismissive young man in the lounge. He couldn't decipher what Ethan wanted anymore. Just as he was trying to formulate a gentle refusal, he heard Cole's sleepy voice from inside, asking who he was talking to. He said it was nothing. When he looked back at his phone, the line was dead. Ethan hung up, a fresh wave of nausea sweeping over him. He had heard the other man's voice. The man from the security footage, the one who had helped Liam with his luggage. Young, strong, handsome. Had Liam found another stray? The words he had spoken in the lounge echoed in his mind, but now they felt like a description of himself. Staid, uninteresting, no longer young. He had said them out of spite, out of a desperate, childish desire to make Liam undesirable to others, to keep him for himself. He was the one who was terrified. He was the one who wasn't 18 anymore. He had begged Liam to come to his college graduation 4 years ago. Liam had apologized, saying he was too busy, and offered him $50,000 as a gift. It had felt like a knot to cross the line. All Ethan had wanted was a photograph, just to prove to his friends that the boyfriend he claimed to have was real. He had tried to be what Liam wanted. He had even sought advice from Skylar on how to seem younger, more exciting. It had all been for nothing. Now Liam was thousands of miles away with someone else. The intense work schedule in Rwanda was a strange kind of anesthetic. One evening, on New Year's Eve, Cole found him staring blankly at a wall. He told Liam he needed a break, that even soldiers on deployment didn't push themselves this hard. He handed him a beer and said they needed to talk. He asked if this was part of his mission. Cole's sharp eyes met his. He said it wasn't a military mission, but a Cole mission. Fueled by alcohol and exhaustion, the story tumbled out of Liam. The first time he saw Ethan, a slip of a boy feeding a stray cat with his meager lunch of 2 dry buns. The clumsy first approach. The flawed foundation of their relationship. The fear that had kept him from ever asking the one question that mattered. Cole listened patiently. He told Liam he wasn't afraid of the truth. He was just afraid Ethan would leave him if he knew he wasn't loved back. Liam nodded, the admission stumbling from his lips. Cole asked if he wanted to spend New Year's Eve with 3 people. Liam was confused. Cole explained that their colleague, the one Liam spoke of, was downstairs. He had found him at the gate when he came back, brought him in. He was downstairs crying. Cole took a drag from his unlit cigarette, then used Liam's lighter. He asked if Liam was going to see him. His hawk-like eyes were knowing. Couldn't possibly get any worse. Could it? Ethan was huddled on the ground outside the building, tears tracking paths through the dust on his cheeks. He couldn't believe his rival had been the one to let him in, with the smug air of a rightful owner. He had told himself he would just wait here, as close to Liam as he could get. He could rent a place nearby. He could see him every day. He wasn't 18, but he had time. He would do whatever it took. Through a blur of tears, he thought he heard Liam's voice, asking why he was here, why he was crying. It had to be a hallucination. He shook his head, not looking up, and the words he had never said spilled out. That he loved him. That he would pay to be his lover, his kept man. That 10 years was too long to end with a silent departure. He was surrendering. He saw Liam crouch down beside him. He smelled alcohol on his breath. Liam's voice was soft as he asked if he had read the letter. Ethan shook his head honestly. It was still under his pillow, unopened. Liam laughed, a low, sad sound. He explained that in the letter he had apologized. That it wasn't just a physical attraction. He had loved him but had been too young and stupid to show it correctly. Ethan told him there was nothing to apologize for. Liam then asked why he never used the money. Ethan mumbled that he had been saving his own money, all of it, in the account Liam had set up. He wanted to be his equal. He wanted to propose. He had been saving it as a dowry. A tear slid down Liam's cheek. He cursed. He said he was the one who should apologize. That the things he'd said in the lounge, the cruel words about being boring and old, they were about himself. He had been terrified of being left behind. He was the one with no talent for being kept. Ethan wiped his own tears, his voice hoarse. He promised he would do better and begged to be allowed to stay. He saw Liam nod. He saw him pull the cropped photo from his wallet. The world spun. His face flushed, his eyes bright as he looked at Liam. Before Liam could say another word, Ethan pressed his own bank card into Liam's hand. He mumbled that he felt faint, and then, his eyes rolling back, he slumped forward, collapsing into Liam's arms. For the first time he could fall knowing he would be caught.